This is one of the 7 classical styles of dance existing in India, and BharataNatyam is very special to the state of Tamil Nadu, which is in the south of India. The origin of dance can be traced to the Vedas. There is a lot of evidence in the Vedas to show that dance was used as part of rituals to propitiate the nature gods. And next to the Vedic period, we have the epic period, that of the Ramayana and Mahabharata, where again we have a lot of reference to dance being used as a part of worship and also as an entertainment. And dance mostly flourished in the temples of India, and it was used as part of the day-to-day worship of God. And the dancers who practiced this form of art were known as the Devadasis. And the word Devadasis literally means the servants of God. Deva means the Lord and Dasis mean the servant. So there were a special group of people who used to live in the temples, totally dedicated to the service of God. And these Devadasis were maintained by the kings, by the government. All their needs were looked after, and they enjoyed a very, very high social status because they were very well versed in art, literature, music, dance, in all subjects. They could converse on any subject, and they enjoyed a great deal of respect in society. And we also have instances where the queens and princesses left the palace to become a Devadasi because they felt it was a very, very respectable position. This continued for a very long time, and especially under the rule of the Pallavas and the Chola kings in the south, which was a great period of temple building in South India. The art of dance really flourished in the temples. In fact, in one of the big temples in Tanjore, the Brihadishwara temple, there are stone inscriptions that say that there were almost as many as 400 dancers attached to the temple in the service of God. BharataNatyam basically has 2 aspects. One is the pure dance, where you have movements of various limbs of the body that do not express anything but produce a kind of aesthetic beauty because of the symmetry and geometry of the physical form as it moves in space. And the second aspect, which I feel is very, very special to Indian dance, is what we call as nritya or abhinaya, which is expression of an idea, a mood, a sentiment or a story. And for this we have a 4-fold system of expression, a 4-fold abhinaya, which we call as angika, vachika, aharya and satvika. Angika abhinaya is basically the use of the different limbs to express something. And here we have a very well codified system of hand gestures, We have the single hand gestures and the double hand gestures. Like for instance, we have the pataka, tripataka, ardhapataka, kartari, and double hand gestures like anjalischa, kapotascha, matsya, kurma, codified and mentioned in different texts like the Natya Shastra, the Abhinaya Darpana. We have a lot of treatises for dance. So this comes under the purview of Angika Abhinaya, or expression through the limbs of the body. Then we have what is known as the Vachika Abhinaya, which is expression through dialogues, or today the use of songs, the use of lyrics. So that is one form of expression. And Aharya is the costume that the dancer wears. Of course, for a solo performance, we have a standard way of dressing. But if you take dance dramas, every character has a particular way of dressing. And what is most important and what I would say is most difficult is the Satvika Abhinaya, which is the use of facial expression to express the different emotions and the feelings in the song.
I am BharataNatyam. I am one of the founder members and the pioneers of the Temple of Fine Arts, and I started learning dance from the age of 5 years, and I have a great passion for dance in general, and particularly Indian classical dance. And all through my school life, I had learned dance, and I had been performing extensively throughout Malaysia and also in some countries overseas. And my involvement with the Temple of Fine Arts has been from the time of inception, that is in 1981. I have been a teacher of BharataNatyam at the Temple of Fine Arts for the last 35 years, and at the same time I'm also one of the senior dance directors. Our guru, Swami Shantanand Saraswati, he came to Malaysia in 1971, and he is a monk from Himalayas, from Rishikesh. So he came here in 1971, and he held satsangs. Satsangs are prayer gatherings where he used to give sermon, and he had a very, very melodious, mesmerizing voice. So he used to sing all the bhajans so beautifully, and he was so articulate, he could speak so well. Shivadas had his student by the name of Vatsala Shivadas, who was his student, and then later she became his dance partner, and a few years later she also became his partner. That is, and then Master Gopal Shetty, he came, his student was Radha Shetty, and then she was his student first, and then later became his life partner, and then dance partner, and then later life partner. So these two dancing couples were the followers of Swami Shantanand Saraswati, formed the Temple of Fine Arts. And thus in 1981, the Temple of Fine Arts was conceived and it was launched. And ever since then, the same premises. But it was a very old building. So that's basically the brief history of the Temple of Fine Arts and my history. I was a devotee of Swamiji, and of course I also became a teacher here from the time we started. And so the three of us are the pioneers, and we are still here teaching, and we three are the senior directors. Okay.